New music from Carrie Hart. CD is called I Know a Gun, and that was called Screaming Quietly from Carrie Hart. Before Carrie Hart was Bet Paget from her CD At the End of the Day, and we listened to the title cut. This is Folk and Acoustic Music. My name is Michael Stock. Friday evening, Valentine's Day, Roger Mason will be at Books and Books in Coconut Grove. Here's a little sample. Well, Roger Mason's in here in the studio with his accordion. Roger, play a song for us.
Well, goodbye, Joe. We gotta go, me oh my oh. We gotta go roll the Piro down the bayou. Well, my Ivan, sweetest one, well, me oh my oh. Well, son of a gun, we're gonna have big fun on the bayou. With jambalaya, crawfish pie, filet gumbo. For tonight I'm gonna see my share of meal. Pick guitar and fill fruit jar and be gay. Well, son of a gun, we're gonna have big fun on the bayou. Well, Thibodeau, Fontenot, the place is buzzing. Kinfolk come to see Ivan by the dozen. They're dressed in style, they go hog wild, me oh my oh. Well, son of a gun, we're gonna have big fun on the bayou. Well, jambalaya, crawfish pie, filet gumbo. For tonight I'm gonna see my share of meal. Well, pick guitar and fill fruit jar and be gay. Son of a gun, we're gonna have big fun on the bayou. Gonna settle down far from town, buy me a pirogue. Gonna catch all the fish on the bayou. Trading from a man, buy my Yvonne, well, what she need, oh. Well, son of a gun, gonna have big fun on the bayou. Well, jambalaya, crawfish pie, filet gumbo. For tonight I'm gonna see my share of meal. Well, pick guitar and fill fruit jar and be gay. Son of a gun, we're gonna have big fun on the bayou.
Roger Mason live in the WLRN studio. Felt like singing along and dancing along. That was great. Now that was a Hank Williams tune.
That's an old Hank Williams song. It was actually, if you want to get serious, it was Moon Mulligan. It was a Cajun tune called Big Texas. And going to Texas was a big theme for Cajuns, but Hank Williams he wrote new words to it, and it became a huge hit.
That's the first I heard of that. Hank Williams stole the tune?
No, he cooperated. He cooperated. I think they split the royalties, but there's always stories.
Oh,
like
that's
this.
nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. Roger Mason is here, and you're a Cajun expert.
Well,
which is unusual because you're not from Arcadia.
No, I'm not French. I'm not from Acadia, and I spent most of my life living outside the I'm an army brat. But I lived in France for 32 years, and I went there as a junior year abroad. I was 19 years old. I stayed 32 years, and when I heard.
What does France and Paris have to do with Cajun music?
Well, start with the language. Well,
that's the obvious.
That's the obvious one. Yeah. And then, food, dancing. There's a joy of living. There's a lot of French values that you find in Louisiana.
I know that's where Cajun originated. Does the French take pride in that?
They do. And, there are so many bands now in France that are Cajun bands.
Really?
Absolutely. It's really taken hold over there.
When did you first get exposed to it?
1969,
Mm-hmm.
1969, and I went to Louisiana, and I'm credited with having introduced Cajun music to France because I organized a tour in the early 70s of the Boffa brothers, who are pretty well known with Cajun music fans. And it was a 5-week tour. We did deep countryside places and big city places, and it really put it on the map.
When you brought Cajun music to France, did they accept it then?
They loved it.
Mm-hmm.
They loved it. I mean,
they didn't recognize the language, did they?
The language, no, they didn't recognize the language sometimes, but they knew, and there was enough of it they recognized, you know. Mm-hmm. And what was really surprising in the French countryside, they recognized it probably a lot more than they did even in the city, because the Cajuns were country people, and in
the country of. Now, Roger Mason is here. You're going to be at Books and Books in Coconut Grove on Friday evening. Why?
This is a book signing for a book that is just came out actually a few months ago. It's a book of love songs from Cajun and Creole Louisiana, with transcriptions and really beautiful illustrations, with a preface by Alan Lomax.
This is your book? This
is my book, yeah. They're field recordings that I did and field recordings that I transcribed.
When I hear field recordings, I think of Alan Lomax, and there's a generation of folks who dedicated their lives to this. Important work. You more or less were preserving music that was dying, were you?
Well yeah. It was preserving the music that was dying, but there was so much good music out there, and sometimes it took, re-educating your ears to appreciate it. I remember I used to have a hard time listening to the New Lost City Ramblers because they were, they weren't overproduced. They weren't, and so the people that sing these and play these songs that field recordings pick up, they're ordinary people. A lot of times they're poor. Sometimes they don't know how to read and write. But they have feelings just like everybody else, and the richness of their music, even though it's hard for big city public sometimes to relate to, the richness of the music, once you get into it, it's pretty astonishing.
Were you the first person that some of these folks knew who appreciated the music or went out recording this music?
In Louisiana, there'd been, I think that the Alan Lomax went in the 30s. There was Irene Therese Whitfield a little later. Harry Oster went in the 50s. Ralph Rinsler did some recordings. But I was among the first half a dozen or so that recorded there.
You brought in some samples of, and you wanted to show us how the music has evolved.
Right.
Okay, where do we start?
Okay, if you could play just a little bit of Aimable Brune, which is on the CD. On the CD, yeah.
Okay, and what is this? This is a recording you made?
This is a recording no, this is a recording Harry Oster made back in the 1950s. And then if you play it, I'll play a little bit of it on the accordion.
I'll tell you what, put on the headphones because you won't be able to hear it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, all right, and so here's the recording.
Céline Guédre qui va chanter. Je m'en irai voir mon aimable brune, mais je sais pas si je l'aurai. Oui, je l'aurai, quoi qu'elle me coûte, quoi que ses parents lui en dégoûtent. Vive le vin, vive l'amour, vive la fille à la nuit comme le jour. So
that's a love song. It goes way back, and she's singing, Je m'en irai voir mon aimable brune. I'm going to go see my pretty, sometimes brunette, sometimes dark-skinned girl. It's the same word. But I'm not sure I'll make it. I don't know if I'll succeed. Yep, I'm going to succeed, even though her parents hate me. And then it goes on, says, sweetheart, come with me into my garden. We're going to plant a salad of artichokes, and we're going to spice it with pepper sauce. And then the last verse says, if love could only grow in my garden, I'd plant so much of it, I'd share it with all my friends. So here's the song a little bit. And it goes like this. Je m'en irai voir mon aimable brune, mais je ne sais pas si je l'aurai. Oui, je l'aurai, quoi ce qu'il me coûte, bien que ses parents de moi la dégoûtent. Vive le vin, vive l'amour, vive les filles, la nuit est comme le jour. And the chorus goes, a toast to wine, a toast to love, and a toast to the girls, both night and day. So it's sort of wine, women, and song, you know.
So we heard the original
That
field
was the
recording.
right.
And I'm in the studio with Roger Mason, who's telling us how Cajun music has evolved in America over the past 40, 50 years. Let me take a quick break at the top of the hour and return more with Roger Mason. This is Folk and Acoustic Music. My name is Michael Stock, here every Sunday on 91.3 WLRN and HD1 Miami-Fort Lauderdale, 91.5 WKWM and HD1 Marathon Key West, 90.7 WFLV HD4 West Palm Beach, and 101.9 NPR for the Palm Beaches. We'll be back right after these messages.
As the only university-based